Hi, Melina.
Hi.
So good to meet you. So good to meet you. We talked on the phone probably about a week ago, and it sounded like it was probably good for you to come in and maybe share a little bit more about, I think, depression, anxiety, some struggles maybe you had with some of those issues. So this is your time. It's kind of tell me more about what those things are.
I definitely find that stress is definitely a big trigger of mine. In academics, it's always, if there's a big test coming up, I freak out, and sometimes I shut down and can't even function to even take the test. So that's definitely
with academic stress.
Yes,
and
academic stress. Yes, if I'm not comfortable with the topic or familiar enough with it, then I shut down completely and can't even accomplish the task.
So like shut down completely, not just shut down, but completely.
Yeah, there's been times, even in exercises for tests that I just shut down, and it's just like I have half an hour to accomplish this task and I can't write a single word.
Ooh. So what does that feel like inside when that happens?
It's just like my brain is short circuiting, and I try to make it cooperate and figure out something, and I can't even think of things to put on the paper.
So you're trying to make adjustments and changes, but it just doesn't really seem to take effect at all.
Yeah, I short circuit.
Wow. What effect does that have on you then?
It stresses me out. I feel a lot of shame for it. Like people feel like I'm not living up well, and not holding up, and people look at me weird because of it. And not even if they know it, but I think it's mostly in my head. But
so you kind of said it's sort of effect on the inside for you, but then that shame level on the outside also. Like, what are other people thinking as a result of that? Wow, that's got to be really tough. That's got to be challenging for you. Impact then on, you're a student at LBC, correct? So there's a grade expectation that you're supposed to have. What impact does it have on that?
I've been really fortunate. Some of my professors are very graceful with it and will give me another chance at it in a less stressful environment, which I really appreciate. Otherwise, I've just sometimes had to suffer for it, and that's just how life is sometimes.
Some provide some accommodation to you, and then others you just kind of have to take the grade that you take.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, let me kind of ask you, when you experience that level of anxiety, what typically would you normally do to try to kind of over?
I pray about it. I call my mom sometimes if it's a situation where I'm separate, not in the middle of a classroom. But if I'm shutting down, I can call my mom. She's generally pretty good at talking me off of a ledge, so to speak, settling me down so I can function in normal life at least.
So mom's a lifeline for you.
Mom's definitely a lifeline.
And then you said prayer also.
And then just sometimes just sitting and taking a break and stepping back and not expecting myself to deal with that day sometimes. Because even if I have an anxiety attack, then usually the rest of the day, even if I'm not anxious anymore, I just feel drained and emotionally exhausted and just I don't want to do anything. And so I just try to sit back and let myself recover from that as much as I can.
When you said anxiety attack, describe anxiety attack.
That would be those situations where I'm in class and shut down entirely. That's what I would consider to be an attack.
What does it feel like inside?
It's like my chest tightens and it's hard to breathe sometimes,
Chest tightens, hard to breathe.
Hard to breathe, and my thoughts are racing and I can't make any of them cohesive. And a lot of times I'm going to cry, stuff like that.
When's the first time you noticed that was happening for you?
The first time that I realized it was an anxiety thing would be in high school when I had an SAT prep and I had to do this essay, and it was in class, so it was an exercise, but I just couldn't even figure out how to do it, and I sat there the whole half hour trying not to cry in the middle of class and didn't have anything to show for it when the half hour was up.
Prior to that, you didn't really experience that, but it was just
that would be the first moment that I realized was there's something wrong here, as opposed to just normal stress or just not feeling like I understood information.
And you said about 30 minutes, like half an hour.
Yeah, it was simulating the essay time.
What is that like? What is that like to experience that level of anxiety for that 30 minutes?
It's stressful. It's just I'm trying to make something happen and to make myself get over it and to try to move on and work through it and get something down, and it just...
Wow.
And sometimes I stress myself out more because I can't.
So sometimes internal stress, internal sort of stressing yourself out, but then external is the test, and you just have to, there's expectations that you have to meet. At what point did you start using your mom as a lifeline?
Probably towards high school. I had issues, I had struggles in middle school a little bit, but I think we all have those. And then it's more towards high school that same year she was helping me through my math class really well because I was struggling really bad in math, and that's what made me part of what made me get tested for my learning disability was because I had issues with the math class and I wanted to be like, you're teaching me wrong, you have to change. And that's not how life works. But that's what made me first, yeah.
So at that point, did you receive some accommodations then? All right.
Yeah.
How beneficial was that?
Very helpful.
Mm-hmm. And those are being used here at LBC also, correct? Okay. All right, so when you think about coming in here and sharing with me, what would you hope that I would be able to do with you?
To give me some more techniques to work through the specific moments when it does shut down.
So some specific things that you could do in order to accomplish that. I think we could probably work on that for sure, because as you mentioned, sort of that stress just really increases, and you reach out to mom, you reach out to the Lord through prayer, you said, but to have a couple more other sort of coping styles or strategies.
More tangible things to help
tangible.
Me. Yeah.
Okay, I think we could probably work on that. Okay. And that's somewhat common for students and those of your age that are experiencing that kind of stress. And so I think we could provide some for you that you can learn how to do really well that will help to alleviate some of that distress. So I think that would be our plan. So we can talk then about how we could meet, when we could meet, and kind of work through some of those details then. So how's that sound for you?
That sounds wonderful.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, good to chat with you here today.
Thanks, you
okay.
too.